I wanted them, as we were beginning to talk to the Neil Banners of the day. You must have still been a baby, probably you were not even born yet. But we quarreled with Madiba even about the negotiations, right at the negotiation table. I was the one who felt that we had over-negotiated. In the process, we lost it. And I warned at the time that we over-negotiated, and the truth was we may have lost the land again in the process. Our struggle was a struggle for land. It was all about the return of the land to the owners of the land, not the silly notion of driving the white man to the sea, the notion of fighting back to get back our land. And the problem at the time, which I foresaw, and we disagreed with Madiba over it, we say, yes, you say, let us negotiate. In the process of negotiation, we say the land belongs to all who live in it. The doors of landing shall be open. Now, how were we going to buy the land back from those who had stolen it? Because we were not going to seize the land back without compensation. There would have been grave consequences if we had done that. The bloodbath would still be continuing to this day. I believed that perhaps something went wrong when we were negotiating, when we over-negotiated, and we could have probably reached other decisions other than the willing seller, willing buyer. What are we going to buy the land with? Because in order for us to buy the land back, you have to raise the GDP, you have to build your country to an extent that the equality of our people is not a myth, that you bring up the lives of our people at par with those who have owned capital. And the captains of industry ought to have been part and parcel of the agreement at Codesa that they were going to create jobs. Governments do not create jobs. It is captains of industry who create jobs. But it was not to be. We were rushing. We wanted to raise the flag of freedom, and we accommodated minorities in the process. And I warned Madiba, I said, it's not going to work. We have fought with these people at grassroots level. We know them. We know them better than the leadership that was incarcerated for years on Robben Island. We understood them better. And it was the children of 1976 who turned the tide of history around, who said, enough is enough. You're not going to teach us history of our land in Afrikaans. We are done. Then we embarked on the armed struggle. But then when we went to Codesa, we had already disbanded the military wing of the ANC, Umkhonto weSizwe. So therefore we ought to have looked at the types of agreements that were not going to sell the country back to the owners of the means of production. It's a very long discussion, and I don't think that's what you came for.